All right, let's dive into Andy Weir's masterpiece, Project Hail Mary. This is a story that kicks off not with some big explosion, but with a question so basic, it's actually kind of terrifying.
So just imagine that for a second. You wake up and a computer voice is asking you simple math. You're completely lost, you have no clue who you are or where you are, and that's your first input from the universe? And that's the first thing our hero finally manages to get out. He's coming out of a coma, he's totally alone on a spaceship, and he has complete amnesia. Oh, and to make matters a whole lot worse, he pretty quickly finds the bodies of his two crewmates. Yeah, not a great morning. So, bit by bit, he starts trying to piece it all together, just fighting to remember, well, anything. His first real break comes when he finds a mission crest, and on it, the ship's name, the Hail Mary. You know, a name like that tells you this is probably not a routine flight.
And then boom, the memories start coming back in flashes. But here's the weird thing. It's not about who he is. It's about why he's there. It's like his brain knows what's most important, and it is screaming at him about a massive crisis happening back on Earth.
Right, so this is no ordinary science trip. The Hail Mary is exactly what it sounds like, a desperate, one-in-a-billion shot to save every single person on Earth from being wiped out. So, let's meet our bad guy, Astrophage. Think of it like a tiny, single-celled alien, a kind of space algae, that is literally eating our sun for lunch. It soaks up the sun's energy, zips over to Venus to reproduce, and then comes back for more, dimming our star just a little bit more with every single cycle. And the stakes here are, well, they're everything. This dimming isn't just going to mean higher heating bills. Scientists are predicting a catastrophic 15-degree drop in Earth's temperature. We're talking worldwide famine, a new ice age, and, you guessed it, a mass extinction event. So who does humanity tap to solve this little problem? Not some grizzled space marine. Nope. They picked Dr. Ryland Grace, a brilliant biologist who quit research to become a junior high science teacher. He's this total long shot, pulled out of his classroom by a terrifyingly efficient administrator named Ava Stratt, all because of some old academic paper he wrote years ago. So, the mission. It's a one-way ticket, by the way. The plan is to travel 12 light-years to the Tau Ceti system, the only nearby star that seems weirdly immune to the astrophage, figure out why, and then send the solution back on a few tiny unmanned probes. Simple, no pressure, right? Okay, so let's jump back to the present. Grace is on the ship, 12 light-years from home, and he makes a discovery that just changes everything. There's another ship, right there, docked next to his. He's the only human for trillions of miles, but he is not alone. And what happens next is, I think, one of the coolest first contact stories ever written. There's no war, there's no misunderstanding. It's just two very smart, very scared individuals realizing they are in the exact same impossible situation. Grace meets Rocky, a 5-limbed, spider-like alien engineer who comes from a world with an ammonia atmosphere. He can't see with light like we do. He uses echolocation, kind of like a bat. But for all their crazy differences, they share one critical thing. Their home stars are also being eaten by astrophage. So, these two form this incredible bond. They use math and physics as their universal language, and they start working together, combining their tech and their knowledge. They're not two separate missions anymore. They are one team, fighting for the survival of both their species. And working together, they find it. On a brutal, high-gravity planet, in the system they call Adrian, they discover a native microbe. They name it Tamoba. And what does it do? It eats astrophage. This is it. This is the miracle they came all this way for. So the plan comes together. They pull off this incredibly dangerous maneuver to get samples from Adrian's insane atmosphere. Then they get back to the lab and breed two versions of the Tamoeba, one that can live in our solar system and one that can live in Rocky's. But, just when they're about to pop the champagne, it all goes wrong. The Tamoeba samples they have on board for study get loose. They breach containment and start eating the astrophage that fuels both their ships. Grace saves most of his fuel, but Rocky's tanks are completely drained. He's stranded. And this is what it all comes down to. This sets up the story's ultimate test. Grace has the cure for Earth loaded onto his probes, ready to go. He has just enough fuel to get himself home. Rocky has zero.
So what do? I mean, think about it. It's a truly impossible choice. Billions of people on Earth waiting for a miracle versus the one friend, the one person who helped you find it. You can save humanity or you can save Rocky. You can't do both. First things first, he does his duty. He launches the probes. He sends the cure on its way to Earth. No matter what happens to him now, he's completed the mission. He's given humanity a fighting chance.
And then he makes his choice. He gives every last drop of his fuel to Rocky so his friend can get home. He chooses to save his friend, knowing full well it means he's going to die out there, alone, millions of miles from anyone.
Their goodbye is just absolutely crushing. After everything they figured out, everything they survived, these two best friends from opposite ends of the galaxy have to say goodbye forever?
But wait, the story has one last twist. Facing certain starvation, Grace has a final, brilliant scientific Hail Mary. He realizes that the Talmoba he bred for Rocky's homeworld are actually edible for him. They become a renewable food source, keeping him alive just long enough for Rocky's people to turn around and come back for him. And the book ends with Ryland Grace not back on Earth as a hero, but on Rocky's home planet. He's found a new life, a new purpose. He's back where he belongs, in a classroom. Except this time, he's teaching a bunch of curious little spider-like alien children. And that just leaves us with the core question of the whole story. Now, Grace got lucky in the end, but he didn't know he would. In that moment, he chose his friend over all of humanity. What's the right call? Is there even a right answer? It's something to think about.